So last Friday, JustinTimePrepping put out a little challenge type setup, talking about SHTF and what my response will be to it. So his first question was, SHTF happened right now. What's the first thing you're going to do? Well, for me, if it happened right at this instant, I would be in trouble. Because my son is at his grandma's and my daughter's at school. The problem is, grandma's is an hour and a half away from where I'm at right now. It would be one of those situations that you have to look at the scenario. Can I stay where I'm at for that time frame? Can I get to her? Because I can get my daughter. My daughter's 5 minutes away, so that's no issue. But can I get up to the grandma's house to be able to get my son, and then to get to my property? So that causes several issues, to really think about. That what happens with a family where people are spread out, and it happens right then. Make sure you're always thinking about that with your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, kids, all that kind of stuff, family members. You're always talking to them about what's going to happen if that happens. How are you going to meet up? Second question is, what's your long-term plan for a SHTF scenario? Mine is to get my family together and get down to my cabin property. My cabin property, as I've told you guys before, is far enough away from civilization that people would really need to want to go there and know where it's at for them to actually come there to be an issue with me. I have access to water. I'm starting up the garden. I have access to game. There's not a lot of people around, so there won't be that much pressure as much on game and things like that. If where I live, there's several huge city and state parks that have deer, that have squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, all kinds of game. But there's also 1 million people that live in my city. 1 million people trying to go hunt. The wildlife is going to go away really, really fast. So also in part of my long-term goals or long-term planning is working with my neighbor down there. He has chickens. He has goats. We're talking about getting some pigs this year so that we have a ready supply of food for the house, for our houses. There's a spring somewhere on my property that I have to find. I have to find that. That is going to be my water source. There's a creek that is really good, about a quarter mile maybe from my property. So that's one access. And there's also several spring-fed ponds that are on neighbors' property that I know that we'll have access to. So that's the question number 2. Question number 3 is your water preps. Speaking of, that's my downfall right now, is my water preps. I don't have crud set up for water preps. I maybe have 10 gallons worth of water saved up right now. But with that being said, I have the Sawyer water filter. That thing can filter up to 10,000 gallons, if I remember it. It's either 10 or 100,000. I can't remember. I'll have to look at the pack and I'll put a little caption down here. So I have that. I know how to boil water. I know how to use bleach for decontaminating it. That's a last resort because I don't really like messing around with bleach. Add too much, then yeah, it's kind of nasty. I have several of the Life Straw type products. I've got multiple brands of them. There's a whole bunch out there on the market, and those are pretty much my water prepping idea, is going to be filtering the water and making it potable for me, for me and my family to use. So I will start this summer. I am going to be setting up a rain catchment system down in my cabin and working more towards that. Plus, like I was just talking about with the spring, figuring out that so I can get that going. Okay, so the last question is to tell everybody why I think I'm prepared for an SHTF situation. I don't know if I am. I don't know if any of us will ever really be truly prepared for it. Unless you're the couple from Tremors, that had everything and anything. I don't think any of us will ever truly be prepared for 100%. Because we never know what's going to happen. For me, what if where my cabin is, what if it gets destroyed? Well, that's my primary SHTF scenario. My second is my in-laws, but that is not an ideal scenario. So all of us need to always be constantly thinking about that no one is ever 100% prepared for it. And you always have to make sure that you're always watching for it. You're always letting it evolve, in that you don't get complacent in it. You don't think, well, I've got 25 guns and 20,000 rounds of ammo and a year's worth of food and 500 gallons of water. It's all fine and dandy. If your house catches on fire, it's gone. What if there's an earthquake, flood, any sort of natural disaster, and it wipes out where you have your storage? What are you going to do then? That's why with me, I have majority of my stuff at my cabin, yes. I also have stuff here at where I live. I have stuff at my brother's. I have stuff at my in-laws. So I don't centralize everything. I have the majority, but I have enough to where if that got messed up, I would be able to at least get myself to that next level, get myself to that next step. Because all of us know, look at Puerto Rico right now. Puerto Rico has been screwed for 6 months since that hurricane. They're still saying like 50% of the island is without power. Won't that happen here? Can you imagine society here in the mainland United States without power? That would be without the rule of law, right there. Wouldn't necessarily be an SHTF scenario, but it definitely would be without the rule of law. So always think about that. So those are my answers to his little challenge. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a giveaway at 250 subscribers. Plus I got a little surprise one coming up here. I don't know when yet. So keep your eyes out for that. And I will talk to y'all here on the next one.